Okay, it's finally time. I think I've got everything figured out now. We should be live on more places than usual now. I think we should be live on YouTube as well. I've added that as a new multi-stream. I've also done a little bit of additional brand rework. We can see a bit more now. Or see a bit more? We can be seen on a bit more places now. But that also means I have more chats and stuff that I gotta pull up just to make sure that everything is working as well today. It's gonna be a bit more slow than usual before we get into this, but once we do get into this, we are going to be working on the shop and store options in the game. I went and did a little bit of fixing for the new abilities and ability modifications that we did yesterday, so I got things working. The roll is working nice, and the roll is working nice now as well. Things are looking good. Where am I looking at now? Let me see. So, we are hopefully live right now. We are. I don't know why it's still named test, though. That should not have been the case. We should have it called the same as what it is everywhere else. So, I need to make sure I pull up Streamlabs here. Streamlabs dashboard and all that good stuff. Let me go to the dashboard. Yep. 42, 43, multi-stream, YouTube. YouTube, you gotta let me rename this, right? Right? Where do I have to even go for this? Should be controllable from my Streamlabs, I would think, but timestamps, reaction, send feedback. Welcome to live chat. Okay, so I have to go here to get that chat open. Multi-stream, stream info. Oh, wow. This is not what it's supposed to be. Where am I on any of these? Refresh this. Not going to be the most exciting start to a stream, but I mean, it's pretty exciting for me. Shop and storage. I probably should have renamed everything as well. How do I do this? YouTube Studio, maybe? Maybe I can modify it from there. Go to video analytics. No. Details. I don't know if this actually updated the live one or not. Multi-stream, multi-stream, multi-stream. Oh, I should have done a bit more work on this last night when I was getting ready for today. Oh, I think I figured it out. I think I figured it out. Okay, we're looking good now. Okay, there we go. We are live and actually have the correct stream names everywhere. Hello, and we are going to be working on Project Hatchet now. We are on day 43. We're going to be doing the shop and store with our main focus today. Yesterday we did some extra abilities. We did roll. We did rebinding for the keys. But there were some bugs. I went and worked on those last night while I was doing all the rebranding as well. So we got those working nice and pretty now. And we are ready to do a bit more development, move on to T10 shop and storage. We are live now on YouTube, Kick, Twitch, and X. We've got a few places. I've heard about a couple of other places that people will often stream to as well for multi-streaming. But I just want to kind of have a little bit of everything going right now. Just sort of get the visuals out there. The good thing is as well, I should be fine on terms of music for YouTube because I know they're real strict on that. But I also do have a subscription for this music platform for the rights to use them in streams. So I should be good on that front. But that's kind of what's been delaying me getting started on YouTube as well. Anyways, we are going to get right into this. I think I'm going to pull up by get right into this, I mean I'm going to delete my overlay stuff. We're going to open up a couple of terminals, and I'm going to pop into the game right now to show off what we have. So first things first, we got to launch our server. Now, even though everything's running locally on my computer, we still have it set up with a server client architecture. That way, when we go to move this over onto a live server, we are able to sort of just pop those over where they gotta go instead of having to completely redo a lot of the ingrained architecture within the architecture in the actual project. It's going to save us a lot of work, basically. So once Streamlabs actually decides to pick up the game, there we go, we've loaded in. Now you'll see this is a default checkerboard because this is the base outline for the game, or this is the base settings for the game. Now, I do have the sprites ready, but they're all just placeholder sprites right now. So if I press my key, I get the sprites activated. You'll notice everything kind of just has a text on it that tells you what kind of sprite it is. We've got our mini map, we've got our character with our stats and skills. Currently we have 6 skills. We have another 4 that are planned. We're going to be also adding fishing, cooking, piety, and bravery. So that'll bring us up to a total of 10. We have our equipment where we start with an axe, we start with a leather vest, we start with some leather boots and some leather leggings. Oh, I've unequipped it. There we go. Open the inventory. I wanted to examine it. There we go. Everything just has base like 1 stats for things. So if I start walking around, you'll notice I can cast some magic. There we go. That's not the one I actually wanted to do. I wanted to show off that I have the rolls working now. Look at that. And a bonus to that, I cannot roll through objects because when I first got this working, that was good. It also didn't like the camera rotations at all. So if I just gather some stuff here, we'll see how basics that we've got. We're gonna get a herbalism level real quick here, hopefully before the herb actually despawns. So come on, here we go. Do a little bit more. There we go, level 2. So we can process a little bit of the herbs, make some healing salves. We got some nice trees around, but let's get over to the combat now. So this is a goblin over here. If I just quickly defeat the goblin, we can run over, find some more goblins. I'm just going to do a quick loop all the way around to the boss because I'll get to show off a few of the mechanics. Oh, I cast that a little too far. So you'll notice that every time I go to do the magic, I have to complete a quick time spell here. I don't think the damage is scaling properly at the moment for this spell specifically. Like, I can try this out here. If I just cast it on here and I just go really... Oh, it is scaling because it only did 23. Cool. So this is our armor buff. I was debating on how many abilities. I really think that 6 is probably about the maximum I'm going to do, plus the mobility one. Every class is going to have its own mobility spell. Right now, they go in 3 cardinal directions. I'm going to keep it that way. I'm going to keep it in 3 cardinal directions because that's what I want for the combat mechanics. These are not used for going around more. They're used to augment your player. The other thing is going to be that these are also going to be modifiable as well. I'm not sure if we're going to actually get to the ability modifications today. As I run past all, I got to get new sprites for all of these mobs as well. They're kind of just all purple at the moment, except for, oh hey, we got a combat level. Combat increases our HP and all of our stats by 1. So this is the boss here. I'm just going to make sure it's on the correct logging. R2 4 1 2. This I haven't done this boss fight yet with the actual new abilities yet. So let's see. Hey, the arrow reset on us. Hey, we hit it for a full 50. So, arrow resets are one of the main mechanics for this. It actually is a... it's very short on the cooldown right now. It's only 10 minutes, and in the future it'll be more. Oh, it's firing at a fixed range, which is not correct. We will come back to that to fix it later, though. Wow, we also really run out of mana. Okay, there we go. That's a boss down. You'll see here we have our stats for the fight. We've got the time that it took. We've got the target time that we're looking for the fight. Oh, let's not go back into the teleporter. Then we have the boss's ability usage from the fight and how the boss got modified after the fight. Currently, it modifies after every single fight, but it is set up to modify after a certain number of people have actually participated, or rather have been successful on the fight. So, with that in mind, I am going to minimize the game. Well, I guess I could show off the danger zone a bit as well. But I'm going to minimize the game, and we are going to start looking through the plans for the next set of changes that we're going to be focusing on today. The shop and the storage. The shop is actually really important for us because right now we don't have a way to get a pickaxe and we don't have a way to get vials of water. Pickaxe is important because we can't actually mine the rocks, well, the ore, without a pickaxe. And we can't make mana potions without vial of water either, because mana potions are a level 5 witchcraft. Healing salve is a level 1. So I'm going to go back to where it's nice and green instead of gross green. Maybe I'll just go chill by some herbs and trees, and then I will... Okay, now I'm going to hide this, and we are going to look over the T10 shop storage document. So this here is our planning document. We go over everything that we plan to add. We look at all of the situations. We cover all of the changes that we're going to need to make. We look at where we're going to have to make the changes, and then we iterate on it to make sure that things are explained or described the way that I'm actually intending for them to be done. So I'm going to read through this now. We'll make some notes as we go through. We'll iterate a couple of times on the overall document, maybe once, maybe twice. Depends on, like, the document's already pretty solid. We've already gone through a large process to create this document, but this will be our sort of guidelines for the next implementation step here. So this depends on T5, which is item config system and inventory, and T8, both of these are already done. This block T11, which is the next one for the ability modifiers. So the goal is to add a buy and sell shop to the merchant NPC in town and a bank NPC with 24 persistent storage slots. Establish the gold economy loop for the T6 to 11 playtesting. And so the first section, gold economy overview, what that part was referring to. So gold enters the world from mob drops, boss drops, and selling items to the vendor. The gold leaves the world from buying items from the vendor. So you're actually spending your gold with the vendor, and it kind of just gets weeded out. So we actually do have plans to set an era gold cap, which is the total amount of gold that can be dispersed during a single era. So the era gold cap mechanics are deferred, but the vendor acts as a reliable gold sink and source at known prices. We can just kind of up prices of anything that needs to be bought from there. Anyways, we've got the vendor config, the NPC config schema extension. This is going to be the NPC config schema extension. So we're going to take the config NPC and we're going to add the vendor fields. You will see right here, inventory, type, vendor entry has an item ID. So this is every single item that the vendor will have. It's going to be a single vendor entry, which has the item ID and the buy price. Sell price is always read from the item configs over in config sell price. If I go and look at those right now, not abilities, loot, nope, not loot, modifiers, recipes, maybe it was loot. Oh yeah, these aren't actually, okay, here we go. No, where's items? There we go, Chupacabra Fang. So if I keep scrolling along here, you'll see one of them is the sell price. So a Chupacabra Fang worth 20 gold. That's what we're going to be hooking into in order to be able to actually sell our items off to the NPCs. So we've got, where were we at? Sell price is always read from the item config sell price, not overridden per vendor. Merchant config. So we're going to have the vial of water and the iron pickaxe specifically. Buy price 50, buy price 2. Merchant town vendor, banker config is going to spawn in the other building. So I'm just going to quickly add the notes. Banker config needs to verify that the banker spawns in the other currently the building in town. So we're going to have to update the wire with some shop actions. These are what's actually going to allow the communication between individual client and server. So we're going to add an action shop buy and action shop sell, which has a shop buy payload and shop sell payload, vendor item ID, quantity, vendor ID, inventory inventory index. So that'll actually allow us to grab which spot in the inventory it's being sold from, and quantity, delta shop open, delta type shop open, shop payload, shop open payload, vendor ID, name, inventory. On player interaction with merchant NPC, the server sends delta shop open to the player. The client uses this payload to populate the shop panel without needing the full NPC config. Server shop handlers, so action shop buy, look up the vendor config by vendor ID, confirm the item ID is in the vendor's inventory, check the player gold, check the inventory space for quantity of items, deduct the gold, add the item, and then send delta inventory update to the player. That means that the player actually gets update of what just happened or what just changed for them. Action shop sell is kind of going to be the opposite of this. We're going to validate the inventory index is inbounds and the slot is occupied, look up the item config, confirm that the sell price is greater than 0. I mean, we might make it so that you can also use the sell price of 0, but like, what's going to really be worth 0 coins? Determine a quantity to sell, min of quantity and slot quantity, add gold, remove the item from the inventory, and then send an inventory update again, so that all happens in one quick step. Gold helper function. Gold is an inventory item with item ID of gold coin. It should auto stack base of 9999. We're going to update that way higher in the future. It's just there for now. And sit in the general inventory slot. Player gold count. So this is just checking for the gold coins and updating that. Add gold. No gold stack exists yet. Create one. So this is for the character buying items. Remove gold. This is going to be just removing gold. Client shop UI. The shop panel opens with a receipt of Delta Shop open. Layout, a panel with 2 tabs, buy and sell. Do I want 2 tabs? For now, I think that's fine. I don't have any reason to complain further about that. I was thinking it's going to be possibly just one inventory area. Buy tab, a list of items with icon, name, buy price, and gold. Buy button on the right of each row. Clicking sends action buy. Player's current gold displayed at the top. Sell tab, the player's inventory grid. Reuse or copied from inventory.go. Clicking the slot shows the item name, quantity, and sell price. Sell button sends action shop sell. Items with sell price of 0 show not for sale. Panel closes on escape or clicking outside. Again, do I want 2 blocks for this, or do I just want a single one? Oh, that's a tough choice. I know it was set up initially as just 2, but I kind of want to just reuse the inventory for the players to sell from. Notes to add. Reuse player inventory for sell tab rather than a full NPC. The NPC can have a buyback tab that remains that gold items remain in until the window is closed. Instead, I think we'll do this for now. That I like this a bit better because I want the player to be selling out of their actual inventory. I don't want them to be selling out of another UI within. But then the player can sort of buy back. So they can sell and buy back and sort of exchange between that window. Can be a smaller window. 2 wide, 8 tall. Or 8 tall, 4 tall. Yeah, this will be fine. So we're going to also be adding the bank, which is just the player storage. This is going to be the first iteration of it, so it's not going to be too much, but we should be able to add our items to it, stack unlimited amount of the same item in the same stack, and then also withdraw our items back in stacks at a time. So we're going to go wire go, action bank deposit action type, action bank withdraw action type. On interaction with the banker NPC, the server sends a Delta Bank open with the player's current storage content server persistence. We don't really have persistence yet. Every time the player logs in, they get a brand new. They kind of get a brand new state. That's all going to be addressed in a later phase, actually the next phase, along with some other stuff. But right now, we're just testing the mechanics. We're not making sure that we can like relog. Player gains storage item record. Storage is initialized as a 24 slice of empty item record on first load. It is persisted in the same way as inventory on disconnect and periodic checkpoint. Storage is not cleared on arrow reset. Deposit withdraw handlers, so this is going to be similar to the purchase and sale. Action bank deposit, validate inventory index is bound and occupied. Find first empty storage slot if storage is full. Reject, move item from inventory to storage. Send update for bank and inventory, validate, and then it's kind of going to be the opposite. Validate storage index, bounds and occupied, find an inventory slot for item. If inventory full, reject, move item, storage index to, okay. So, there's going to be some notes to add here. Notes to add. storing an item, all of the same type of item need to be able to stack stack an unlimited amount. Yeah, or like 100,000 for now. Something like that. Anyways, 1 second, where did this go? Where did this go? There we are. What was I going off about? Never look away from what you're doing. You'll forget about everything instantly. So, storing an item, all of the same type of item needs to stack to 100,000. Withdrawing an item. Items first need, or materials need to be withdrawn to the material inventory slots in only their allowed stack amount or custom amount from bank. Item stacking in the regular inventory needs to be fixed as well. Material items that can stack in the materials slot need to be unable to stack in the regular inventory slots. Okay, so that is also going to cover a bug that we have currently where, here we go. I can take these herbs and, well, if I fill up this materials slot and I keep gathering herbs, I'll start getting them stacking in the regular part of the inventory, which is not something I want to be able to do. So then we're going to have the client bank UI, panel showing two sides of the grid, inventory and storage. I don't like this two sides thing. Notes to add should not must not have two sides. Maybe the bank interface. The other side needs to be the actual player inventory. Needs to be from the actual player inventory. Click on an item highlighted, click an empty inventory slot, deposit. Don't choose the specific storage slot to deposit. It should just deposit to the first open slot. The player will be able to move the item in there. Storage. Hey, Fanbjörg, how are you doing today? I think the only reason you enjoy to use AI tools right now is because it's helpful, but not capable of doing it all at once. You seem to have really warmed up to the tools that you're using right now. I often think of a future where it's capable of doing it all without much guidance, and for me, that's a dystopia. Well, it'll only ever be able to do so much. If you want a specific outcome, you still need to have that in your mind and describe it, right? Or be able to communicate it back and forth. So, regardless of how high the bar gets, that just means you get to work on more or larger swaths of stuff at a time, and you get to determine a lot more instead. So Allowing you to work on more doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be able to do more, but it means that you're going to be able to personally work on larger things at a time. So hopefully that'll be a good way to look at it at least. But yeah, it really sounds like you've warmed up a bit to the tools that you have available to you right now. All right, so new data files, NPC, so merchant town, banker town. We're gonna update the wire, the config NPC session, interface actions, shop, bank, and sync, and then we'll go through testing. Okay, perfect. I have added a series of notes to add to the T10 shop storage file. Reviewed the notes and update the document to include them. Do not start any coding yet. Oh, I gotta log in again. At one point you were getting too warmed up and ended up creating a mess. Hey, look, creating a mess is the fun part, isn't it? We all like creating a mess. That's why we build stuff. If you're not making a mess, are you really making progress? Man, my AC's really having to work overtime today. It is not it is not cooling my place off right now. It is very warm. So, Fambjörg, take a look at what I've added. Look at what we've got now. We've got some mobility abilities. We've got some other spells. We've got a pocket sand. We've got a sweep. My workflow is just using the VS Code extension. VS Claude. VS Claude and a lot of planning documents instead. I do when there's specific things that I need done for the actual program, I do go in and I sort of rough out the shape of it as well. Well, okay. I also need to add a combine option here, but it just takes the first verb at the moment, which is fine. I like my pocket sand. I know I can apply burns, but they're like a 20% chance with pocket sand. Pocket sand. Haha, big hit. 49 magic. Pocket sand. Oh, we got a burn on him too. Let's go. Burn is actually quite strong. Woohoo, we beat the boss. Look at that, we've actually got all three types here. I'm gonna go hang out by the tree again. Oh, we got a burn and a bleed on them there. That's what I wanted to see. Also, I really don't like my other ability being on 4. But that might just be because I don't like pressing that ability. In reality, I should just be putting these on my mouse buttons. But I know that's not going to be something that people will often do, so I'm trying to just make sure things work out as a regular player would experience. Oh yeah, I think I need to double check on the expiry for the roll, because did I just roll up? That's not how it should work. There shouldn't be a roll up. Alright, I'm gonna stand still and test this. Roll. Oh, uh-oh. That's not supposed to work like that. Okay, so it currently looks like I can roll in all 4 directions, which, not what I wanted. Usually only use planning with agents when I don't know how to make the feature because it allows me to go further in less time. Yeah, that's a good time to start with it. Yeah, my planning is basically just because I still want to have the control over knowing what's going to happen and having planning lets you still keep a lot more control than just letting it go at it. Nice. I should really do something with the sprites. Okay, we've got some updates here. Let's quickly take a look at what we're adding. I made this change. Spawn placement for banker, place them inside the currently empty building, not the merchant building. Adjust coordinates as needed once the town map is finalized. Cell tab displays the player's actual live inventory. Same panel that is always visible. No inventory grid inside the shop window. I don't know if this is really what I'm expecting. I'm just hoping that it actually opens the player's inventory so that they can see it. Clicking the item in the player's inventory while the sell tab is active immediately sells it and sends a sell item with sell price 0 not shown. Buyback tab, a small 2-column, 4-row grid, 8 slots embedded in the shop's panel. When the player sells an item, it moves into the buyback grid rather than disappearing entirely. The player can click buyback option to repurchase the item at the original sell price. Buyback grid is session only. It clears when the shop panel is closed. So don't sell anything. Don't forget to buy back stuff that's good that you already sold. Bank deposit, search existing storage for a matching item ID. If one's found, stack onto it. 100,000 stack for now. Otherwise, first empty storage slot. Move merge item to inventory. Determine quantity to withdraw. Default to normal max stack. If the item is material, target the material inventory slots. Respect their per slot stack cap. If the material slot space exists, reject. Or if no material slot space exists, reject. Move the resolved quantity to inventory. Send Delta update. Stacking rules also affects regular inventory. Material items that belong to a dedicated material slot must not stack in general inventory slots. If the material ends up in the general slot, e.g. picked up when the material slot is full, it occupies exactly 1 slot with the quantity 1 and cannot be added to. Fix the regular inventory to enforce this. There we go. That's the bug that I wanted to make sure was included. Storage slots have a uniform high stack cap regardless of item type, so the bank can act as a true bulk storage. The custom quantity withdraw UI can be a simple numeric input when the player holds shift and clicks the storage slot. Yeah. So the bank single panel showing the bank storage. The player's own inventory panel remains visible alongside it as usual. There is no duplicated inventory grid inside of the bank window. Deposit flow, click an item in the player's inventory while the bank panel is open. The server finds the first available storage slot. Automatically, the player does not need to pick a destination slot. Withdraw flow, click storage slot, highlight it, click slot in player's inventory panel. or press a key to withdraw a normal quantity. Notes to add. Player does not need to select an inventory slot to withdraw items. Players can rearrange items with their bank storage freely. Actually, rather than just adding the notes to add, I'm just going to... because I don't really have other notes that need to be added. Click storage slot, highlight it, click a storage slot, highlight it. To withdraw from the inventory without needing to select an inventory slot. Okay. I've made a few manual edits. Reread the T10 shop storage, then begin by building a to-do list plan and implement the shop storage covering all requirements of the document. All right, there we go. Back to playing. Let's go see if we can fight a chupacabra. I know they're very dangerous, but I think I can... maybe I'll stick to some shades. I wonder if I should add more range to sweep. Get over here. Why can't I hit you with sweep? Pocket sand. Look at that, level 2. Crown trunk. I think I need to check on the cat for a second. I heard something strange. Look at that, huge AoE. Maybe the fixed slot is fine. Anyways, I'm gonna check the cat real quickly. Nope, the cat is fine. The cat's just making sounds. I don't know why. Don't know why. Not an expert on cats. Look at that, wood cutting level up. So do I want to attempt fighting a chupacabra? That's a good question. We might as well, right? Oh my god, there's so many. Hit me and I immediately died. Well, that's one way to get back to town. It's not like I needed those items anyways. So I'm supposed to get some speakers delivered today. And apparently they failed to deliver them earlier today, which was kind of annoying because I wasn't even home at the time when they tried. And for some reason, I guess they're not delivered via actual Amazon, despite being ordered on Amazon, because Amazon never has an issue actually delivering the package. And yeah, I have no clue what happened there. I'm looking forward to getting those speakers though, because I kind of miss not having to wear headphones already. I could just use my other headphones again and use them as pseudo speakers, but I don't know. Where's the fun in that? Where's the fun in that? Why am I failing to gather logs? What's going on here? It was working, but now I apparently don't have the ability to collect from the tree. What about from the herbs? Yeah, see, that's working fine. Your problem is right now is when you type things out, it sticks better in your long-term memory, even if the plan covers everything. But when I do anything manually, I start to feel bad and inefficient because of stuff I read online. So, yeah, the memory part is definitely 100% true. You remember more by specifically doing it because your memory requires you to actually retrieve stuff to make it embedded in your memory more. And then there is always the culture of, yeah, I get what you mean by, like, whenever you do anything manually, you start to feel bad and inefficient because of the stuff you read online. I get that completely because I will... Oh, I think... No, it's not depleted yet. It's just not allowing me to... This is weird. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to look into this bug. This bug. I can regather from the tree again. All right, let's see how this works. Yeah, people always make it everything is solved. Just prompt the agent, or just prompt the AI. The AI will do it instantly. But no, it's a balance between what you want and what you expect to get out of it, and how fast you want to get something done versus are you actually trying to build up specific skills or specific knowledge of it versus are you just trying to get something together or not. There's a reason why I have built into my workflow here that I have to go and sort of audit the code and review what's happening and make sure that I make some, well, I'm not making as many manual edits, but make sure that I'll go through and trace through and figure out, like, I need to do this, I need to change this here, this is how I think this works, double check if that. But there's ways to mitigate. Yeah, I think things just aren't depleting at the moment. Makes me want to have projects where I use a lot of AI and some where I don't use much to write it, or use AI on all my main projects. Yeah, I mean, you can also always just stop using AI on stuff. Spend a day, spend a week, spend however long you want just manually doing stuff on it again. And yeah, I have my projects as well that I
didn't really touch with AI. They're mainly from before. But yeah, there's times where I'll just be like, I'm just gonna do this manually because I don't want to. Makes me want. I already read that. I will say one thing for this. It's definitely a lot easier to talk about stuff while streaming if I'm not having to manually think about coding it as well. Because when I was building my stream tools here, oh boy, was it difficult to talk and code at the same time. That's some multitasking. Can I get any of these nodes to deplete? Or are they all gonna get stuck? Because this is definitely something I'm gonna have to look into. Let's be real, it's probably gonna eat up one of my evenings again. I spent so long working on stuff just debugging last night and getting things working, and then doing the rebranding of imagery, and no, this one depleted. Okay, so this herb depleted. What if I go... Oh, I wonder if it had anything to do with the fact that I died and got teleported back. Honestly, I had thought of doing manual coding while AI agents work on another project. Multi-projecting, nice! Oh, what the heck? How did I teleport back there? Yeah. I mean, I don't know if this works for you. One of the things that I've done whenever I run into a major bug is I race the AI to resolve, or like not resolving the bug, but to diagnosing the actual issue with the bug. I do that a lot at work because honestly, I'm faster at finding the bugs than the AI is. Yeah, it's fun. There's definitely some things you can use to offset that sort of issue. I definitely think that there was an issue with the getting teleported back. How's this? There's a bug here. I think it has to do with the death. I think it has to do with being teleported back. Definitely something I'm going to have to look into. Yeah, sometimes finding simple things takes a long time. Oh, I think I got the distance right. I'm actually able to just circle with the speed of the camera. I think I'm rotating around into here, not necessarily the middle of the tree, but this is a lot of fun. Yeah, debugging with AI is definitely an interesting experience. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a better experience, but I also wouldn't say it's a worse experience. It's just different. Sometimes it finds obscure bugs that you'd never be able to find, but other times it misses obvious things. Yeah, I've found, and I don't know about you, but if you have an idea of where or what's causing the bug, that'll make the AI actually find it a lot easier. If you can sort of give your rough idea of this is the state of things, this is the processes that it's going through, and I think the error is happening here because of this sort of mechanic interaction or order of operations or any of that sort of stuff, it'll find them a lot better. But I've also just, when I was trying to fix my collision detection, that's another collision detection issue again. I don't want to go back to do collision detection. I loathe collision detection. I always have issues with it. Man, I spent like 6 hours the other day trying to get this collision detection all fixed, and it's still broken. But now it's broken from the west, from the south and west, when before it was broken from the south and east. Oh wait, no, maybe it's based on camera rotation? Oh, collision detection. When you build the platformer game for a school project, 70% of the time was on collision detection bugs. It was so tricky to get right at high bosses. Yeah, collision detection is the bane of my existence. Every single project I have ever done that has collision detection, I've loathed it. High school Java game, collision detection drove me insane. Then the collision detection for the mobs and AI in that game drove me insane. Then I didn't touch it for quite a while again, and I started another game engine when I graduated from university. Collision detection was a pain again because I started making procedurally generated environment trees, and the collision detection on those trees was sometimes the trees were too thin and you would run through them. Sometimes it would get you stuck in one of them because it let you move partially into it and not. And then with this game, it's been the networking. The difference between the client and server sync expectations with the Dead Reckoning is once again driving me insane. And by the way, Claude is not good at helping with collision detection. The AI struggles as much with collision detection as I do, so I don't know if it makes me feel better or worse about it. I'm not even worried about that at the moment now. I don't even want to think about how anti-cheat's going to make stuff miserable again. I am hoping I'm praying that I don't have to deal with that for a long, long time. Yeah, I'm not sure how exactly either. I have some theories of how I would try to implement one, but I know a lot of anti-cheat uses kernel level access right now, which is kind of gross and annoying. But also, where were we at in this checklist? I saw the checklist, but I never actually looked into it too much. Add wires, add vendor, add storage, update data files, server detect shopkeeper banker, add shop, server tick, fix, place inventory, reduce sync, and then, okay, so it's going on to client sync, and then it'll go on to shop, bank, client, add fields with buy, sell, deposit, withdraw, wire everything into render, and then build. It's progressing. Anti-cheat in 2030, local AI installed in your kernel prompted to find out if you cheat or not. Yeah, that, oops, it hallucinated and you're banned. Yep. So, that's... I feel like it would just be easier for them to figure out how to check what specific process, like, not have an AI, just check which specific processes are running and then be like, oh yeah, this one's classified as a cheat engine. Which I know they've done with some things, and there's still false positive bans on it, because certain cheat engines will also be used by developers for developer testing and development. And so they'll just have them running on their machines as well, not actually doing anything, but they'll be existing and running on the machine, and then they're playing another game and it's like, oh, you have a cheat engine open, you're cheating and banned. It's like, no, I just had it there for development purposes. I promise I wasn't using it. Speaking of the local AI though, NVIDIA showed off one of their AI optimizations using the, AI locally built on their NVIDIA software that runs on their graphics card. And what they do is they have, I think it's like 8 million pixels per frame on the screen. They sample roughly 1/16 of the pixels, just like random sample of the pixels. I don't know if it's actually random, but they sample like 500,000 pixels, and then they use the AI to generate the rest of the image from those 500,000 perfect pixels. So rather than, and I really don't understand how this is more efficient. My understanding would be that you still have to compute and process all of those pixels. But maybe it has to do with how the graphics render anyways. Maybe it's helpful for 3D models. So you take the 8 million pixels that makes your entire screen. You take a sample of 500,000 pixels from random spots across the screen. Then you send those 500,000 pixels into the AI and generate all of the empty space around them, and use that to sort of produce your graphics, which is interesting to say the least. Really hope one day you will be able to use local AI efficiently as a good assistant like you use Claude right now, because you don't really want to pay a subscription for the rest of your life for personal projects. So, I don't know if you have looked into Ollama. Ollama, and then you can get some local AIs. Some of the Quen models are decent. Small parameter, when I say small parameter models, like 9 or 27 billion parameters. And you can make use of local AI decently, but yeah, that's the other thing. It depends on the hardware that you have. So yeah, the other problem is it will never be free per se, because there's always going to be, even if it's included in the hardware, there will be an overhead price on that hardware anyways. Yeah, that's an issue. VRAM is a pain. See, this is why I need my bank storage right now. I have so many logs, so many herbs, and nothing to do with them. Like, logs literally don't have anything to do with them. I can't do anything at all with logs. Maybe in the future, as it gets more efficient per token, you can reach a good middle ground. Yeah, that would be great. I think the issue is always going to be, though, on the bottleneck of building the cards, because the purity of silicon needed to actually build the wafer chips is astronomical. It's something like 9 decimal it's like 7 or 9 decimal places of like 99.9999 like 7 decimal places of purity. Otherwise they just don't build right, which is insane. It makes me wonder if we can use lower purity silicon to create lower quality cards that are just useful for local inference. If you knew how it'd all unfold in the future, I think everyone wants that. You'd have a lot of people after you if you knew how it'd unfold. Wait, was I just able to keep... Okay, so if I can't... Oh, I don't know what's happening there. something's happening. I'm creating the healing or the HP salve still, but it's not. They're vanishing into the ether. They're vanishing into the ether. I got no clue. All right. Anyways, bugs that have me concerned aside. So the build has passed. Both Go Build and Go Vet passed clean. The T10 shop storage feature is complete. Here's a summary of what was implemented across both sessions. Server side already done in the last session. Multiple sessions. What does it mean, multiple sessions? There weren't multiple sessions. Wire types, buy and sell, deposit, withdraw, and move, open, shop open, bank update, added the banker zone, new banker NPC, banker placed at tile 23.8, shopkeeper Jack's stock array added, shop gold helpers, all shop and bank helpers, interact with the shopkeeper, banker, dispatch, resource slots, stacking, fix, tick, action, routing. Client side, we've got shop, bank, client, render, and input. Okay. Already have some games made. Could try Unleashing Claude to make it better since I have a strong baseline. It may know what I want better. Yeah, maybe. If you do try that, I'd be happy to hear how that ends up going for you. What ends up working, what ends up not working or struggling, and those are always good things to find out. Hey Jack, do you have anything for sale? Hey, look at that. It needs to remove the sell tab. We need some gold. I also need a way to close the menu with Jack. Okay, this is a bit of a problem. I can open the shop with Jack, but have no way to close it. Also, accessing the shop could require speaking to Jack and going through his dialogue, unless you right-click on Jack and directly choose shop. But Jack's dialogue is missing now. Okay, I'm gonna reopen this just so we can test the bank out instead. Hey, you gotta be terrible at something first before you can be good at it. Alright, so I've got some herbs. Hey, banker. I can't close the bank. I can't close the bank. I can store stuff in the bank though. Jack, help me, Jack, I can't get out of the bank. Jack, help me, I can't get into your building. Oh no, I can't talk. Oh, that's even worse. Now I've got both of them open and I can't close either of them. There we go, fixed it. If I can't see it, it's not a problem. What I can't see can't hurt me. So, few issues here. We're kind of just going to wait on Claude to fix some of these. Oh, I wonder if there's a setting. No, there's not. I also need to fix this text. This text is a little too close to the bottom. Do 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 do. Jack be nimble, Jack be quick, Jack help, I can't see anything on my... Jack help, I can't see anything! Server remove shopkeeper banker early returns from handle talk to NPC, so dialogue shows first. Add handle NPC action to dispatch the action name, including which options in the dialogue payload. Add action NPC action payload. Extend dialogue payload with option actions. Make dialogue options clickable. Add open shop, open bank, right click entries. Add X button to both panels. Yes, an X button would be amazing right about now. Oh, I'm very tired. I'm just, don't mind me. I'm just going to lean back here and take a quick nap. This is just going to be a running joke on the stream. I'm just going to keep falling back and sleeping. That being said, though, I'm gonna go grab some more water. Well, sweet water. So this is why I built this tool. All right, Fanbjörg, make sure no one misbehaves while I go and get water. Okay, I'm back. I am looking forward to this being done so that I don't have to completely restart this to... I don't know what's happening. I can't see my player. Oh, I got some logs. Let's go. Let's go. I got some logs. This also seems like one of those spots where I try to sneak in a game of Pokemon Champions. The season ends in a few days, and I finally built a team again that is capable of winning and not just griefing my rating. So I've been having fun with Pokemon Champions again. I'm really sad that I wasn't able to make a Mega Frostlass team actually work. I feel like that's just a skill issue on my part. But I'm kind of back to playing a variation of a Mega Staraptor build. where I've also got Mega Dragonite, Overquill, Hisuian Zorork, and then just Gomora and Whimsicott. And it seems to be working pretty well. I know people are running Staraptor alongside like Tyranitar, or people are running Staraptor like with a Sand Team Tyranitar, or they're running Staraptor with like Delphox. Oh, my bugs are fixed. My bugs are fixed. Clean build, here's what changed. The 2 bugs are fixed. Close button, Jack's dialogue restored, right click shortcut. Hell, I want to be able to play again. Okay. Jack Shaw has a cell tab. Shouldn't have one. Also, while in the bank, I need to be able to drag items around in my inventory still. Currently, the moment I click, it sends the item to the bank. Alright, Jack, what do you got? Browse wares. Woohoo! Let's go! I can't click, I can't press 1. And I can close the bank again. Let's go. Okay. I'm gonna pick some plants now. Oh no, my ear. Do. I'm totally not playing Pokemon Champions. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't accuse me of that. It's totally not. I'm not facing a Tyranitar in my Milotic. It's fine. Anyways, I'm gonna go try to sell some stuff to Jack here. I don't know. How do I keep getting stuck going into the building? I need to look at the. Whoa! So, bit of an issue. The gold didn't stack. And now we just have an inventory of gold. Hey, banker, can you help us out? Thank you. I didn't need 1 gold at a time. Selling items to Jack caused the inventory to be filled. Caused the inventory to be filled with a single, with a series of single stacked gold coins. 1 gold coin in each slot. I'm not really coding in Markdown files. I'm using Markdown files as planning, and I'm doing a lot of the work with the Claude. I do a large audit every time I do a series of steps. I go through and check a couple. Let me just get this being fixed first. We can go through and take a look at stuff instead. They need to be added to a single stack. I think this is due to there having been no items in these, no gold player inventory before. So let me just check if I can actually buy. Okay, I can. It doesn't work with single items. So let me just minimize the game. It's not vibe coding. It's first off, I need to clarify I am a professional engineer. I'm doing this because it is way more than 10 times faster. So, long story short, here is the, let me just actually go through all my many client. So, we've got our individual entry points for each of the sections. We've got our series of data files, lots and lots of data files, many data files. Then we actually get to all of our game implementations for everything. Rather than going through each individual ones, what I've been doing is developing all of my, because I've found this actually works as a really good process. We have our not notes. Where did my design documents go? I would go through and write a whole bunch of design documents first, starting out from note form and then sort of building onto them. These parallel. Honestly, I wish I had more of these at work, but there's a lot of documented stuff at work for everything. So we go through and we document sort of all of our architecture that we're expecting to have, how we expect things to work, the specific requirements that every single part has. I'm also slacking on my Tailwind petered out. I was trying to hide a game of Pokemon Champions because I've been playing way too much of that. Anyway, we go through our data designs. Those help with that. Then we go through each of our phases of what we plan to start focusing on and implementing in each of them. We start again with a notes document, a whole bunch of point form, build them out. We build a single implementation plan. Very long for that. Then we break that into the phases of what we are actually going to be addressing in each of them. So, for example, for this, we've gone through for an initial phase, we've gone through for a secondary phase, and now we're on the tertiary phase of implementations. We go through each of them again. From the implementation plan, we actually go through and we list out what exactly we're going to be changing. We make sure that all the plans are built into this first. The AI does end up highlighting a lot of the individual portions, breakdowns, and sort of data shapes of them. Then go through and we iterate on that a few times and then go through and actually implement the phase before going through and testing. This saves an astronomical amount of time. Oceanese fan, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate that. Hope you're doing well today. But yeah, we go through each of those phases. Then once we've gone through a series of phases, we do a lot of review on what's actually implemented for the phases. We check to make sure that we covered all of the points that we wanted to, and then go back and we specifically look through, and this process is going to be the one that becomes longer and longer each time, because we then have to go through and we have to actually audit each of the oh, I've gone into the wrong part. We go through and we actually have to go back and audit every single file that we've built to make sure that we're still following all of the standards that are expected, and make sure that I like how the actual implementation is going. Once we've done our audit in a file that lists all the things that need to change, we again go through, refactor a whole bunch of stuff, go back, reflect on our design implementations, because think I won that game. I really wasn't paying attention to it. Go back, reassess all of our designs, make sure that we followed specific designs, or that we update any of the trade-offs for bugs and stuff that we ran into. Speaking of which, I can actually refresh this. So I do take the development of this very seriously, because I'm trying to compact roughly a 10-year plan down into 2. So I classify vibe coding as, hey, here's this one-shot thing that I want to do. Go do this. I'm not going to pay attention to anything that's actually done anywhere. This is a very iterative approach, much more akin to what I would actually do for my manual coding of everything. So the file structure is mainly a restriction on Go. Go does not like nested files. It does not like actually allowing you to break things down. It was so ridiculously flat. And the so one of them is, every time I do a refactor, is I do try to clean up the file structure for them. That's going to be another big focus on this. But it's a pain every time having to break the dependencies apart. Part of the file structure is... Oh, yeah. That part is because of all of the notes that we have. Because these have... So, since we're referring back to these files for them, all of the requirements are documented out in here. This essentially becomes a large augmented series of... basically, it allows for augmenting the actual context of an individual prompt, reducing the amount of complexity required for a baseline prompt by injecting it with a lot of the context and requirements for it. That's the point of the design documents. That's the point of the specific plan documents. All of the locations that need to be addressed are already addressed by the files. There's no point in rewriting out everything again when it's already contained in the files. That would be redundant and a waste of time. Like, for example, if I go up to my design documents, look in the boss architecture, I think this is one that has the specific related documents for each part. Architecture, economy, etc. Architecture does have a breakdown of the specific, well, a state of the file structure. I do really just wish that Go would let me sort my files a bit better, but I've always run into issues of, oh, we now have a circular dependency, and it's a struggle. What was I fixing anyways? Sending items to Jack caused the inventory to be filled with a series of gold stack. Need to be single stack. I think it's due to... Okay, so if I grab just some herbs here. Very long story short, efficiently working with the AI requires you to be able to offload a lot of the context needed for changes without having to type them out manually every single time. Because one of the main... Perfect, I can move stuff around again. One of the main tenets of... How did I get stuck on the wall from that side? I'm going to have to go back and look in through the collision detection. One of the main tenets of architecturing software in general is to make sure that you're reusing as much as you possibly can. So if I sell these herbs now... Hey, why can't I sell? It broke it. The sell tab has been removed from Jack. This is good. This is good, but now the ability to sell items has been disabled. The default left click on items in the inventory when the shop tab is open needs to default to sell. Waiting until a good AI game engine gets released that is built from the ground up, that uses no existing framework. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of good games in the game engine and stuff that get built over the next little while. Obsessed with structure, and this makes me nervous, but I really liked it, so cool. Thank you, I appreciate that. What sort of structures? So first off, I guess I should ask, have you worked with Go specifically, or what do you normally work with? And what sort of part of the structures make you nervous from it? Because I'm more focused on scope of implementations, scope of implementation, scope of files required, and the depth of tracing that's required for making minimal changes. Because I don't want to have to... One of the things that drives me insane is going through 10 levels of boilerplate in order to get to the point that the logic actually happens. Also, I completely forgot to show the game again. Work with the dampest language has ever made after. So what one would that be? I do work with Python for my day job. I use Go for my fun stuff. I honestly have no clue, unless it's going to end up being like JavaScript or TypeScript or probably TypeScript or JavaScript. Yeah, I have very little experience with them, because every time I have to work with them, I try not to. I've never done any large-scale project with JavaScript or TypeScript. I've just done small little bits here and there as needed. Oh, that was actually a fast change. Did it actually... When the shop is open, inventory click fall into the shop panel's else if branch. Nothing catches them. The sell should trigger from any shop tab. All right, let's take a look at this now. Ziva AI in Godot is the closest you have to a good AI in a game engine that fixes its own errors and bugs. I'm interested. I'm pretty sure a lot of stuff related to game engines as well is very custom made at the moment in-house for companies, because I have seen a lot that just integrates into Unreal Engine. They've been showing off a lot of their exceptional stuff that's been used in... I don't think it was GTA 6, but something very similar to that they have integrated straight into UE 5 point whatever the next one is. And it's basically able to do all the full modeling, environmental work, and everything. Then again, they also only showed it in a demo, and demos are very curated. All right, let's see how this works now. All right. Okay, now the buyback panel's not working. Unable to use the buyback panel to buy the items I sold. I accidentally sold to Jack. Sold. Jack. Oh, I should also double check that the buyback actually got cleared. It does. I'm gonna buy myself a few vials of water, make a healing salve, and then if I use the banker and I... Alright, it's not letting me deposit into the bank anymore without
That's interesting. That wasn't a thing I was expecting to do anyways. Also, wasn't it like shift click or something that it said for... I thought the plan was for it to be able to be shift click back. It's still single click to withdraw, but it's not... A few iterations. Buyback calls, send shop buy, which goes through handle shop buy. That requires the item to be in the vendor's stock. Sold items like wolf fur aren't in Jack's stock, so the server silently rejects it. Buyback needs to have its own action. Skips the stock check and changes the sell price. Man, I'm looking forward to the refactoring session because Wire is going to get absolutely torn apart. But I'm pretty sure right now it's just a huge set of case statements if I go over to internal Wire. Ooh, yep. Actually, no, it's not. It's a lot of types, and then... Where's the case statements? There's the case statements. Yeah, it's a lot of case statements. Camo Shacks, thank you for the follow, by the way. Sorry, when you say it's a native game, what's a native game, and native to what in what way? These are the... These shouldn't be a case switch. These shouldn't be a case switch. These should be a single map. These should be mapping action ping to the return type. That'll clean that down, and then same thing goes with here. I don't like that these are case statements. That'll be able to clean up the entire thing pretty much. That's the one, honestly, major refactor I might just do tonight anyways, but I don't want to mess up the specific context that's built at the moment. Doesn't work on the web and work on the hardware natively. The game that I'm making right now, it is not a web game. It's not a web game if that's what you're asking. It does have client server set up. Right now it's just being locally run, but it will be set up apart from that. I'm not sure if that's what you're asking though. Come on, how many times is it going to fail to collect the log? The change to banking, drag, inventory, disabled, item to move. So Go does have some pre-built stuff that has interactions with DirectX for GPU. I actually, this tool here that I have, like my laser pointer and my ability to draw on the screen, this is actually a manual project I made that draws with the CPU, and I was planning on initially using this to work as the graphics engine, but as I started getting into it and the technical requirements on the number of renders that were required per second along with for the specific frame rates and scale, I realized that I needed GPU acceleration with it, and rather than trying to rework my my graphics engine for working with GPU, I looked into the options that are available, and so I'm using an engine, a graphics engine called EBIT Engine, which already has the I think it's DirectX, but it has the GPU
it has GPU support for multi-platform, which was actually the real seller on it. So Go basically handles GPU processing the same way that everything else does, with a wrapper over DirectX. I'm pretty sure it's DirectX. It's been over a month since I looked into it. And I built everything for the graphics stuff right at the start. So it's all good. I'm just glad to have you around and chat. It's always nice seeing new people. Gotta test this out again. I really gotta get the memory persistence in as well. Okay, banking is working fine now. Happy with that. Oh, I left my herbs in the banker. Might also be good for me to add a range as for how far away from the NPCs I can walk before things automatically close. So if I sell the herb and go buy back now. Whoa, okay, that's a buy back if you're not keeping track of how many sold, i.e. I sold 4 herbs, but once I bought back the herbs, they still remained in the memory buyback. What? Buyback should display how many, display and track how many. So 2. Also, I thought from the bank there was a key, or there was a way to withdraw X amount. Did this get implemented? Implemented. Is it still pending? Why am I streaming? Very good question. I'm streaming for a couple of reasons. One, it means that I have a record of the progress that I've made for every single day, because I have the stream history, or whatever it's called, the stream recordings. 2, it makes me feel more motivated to work on the projects that I have, because it gives me the opportunity to share them with people, and I like doing that. So that gives me it makes it even more enjoyable to work on my projects. And then 3, I have a series of things that I have worked on, and I want to be able to get the word out about what I'm building right now. So this allows me to get eyes on it through the entire project, and hopefully make people aware about it. So it really functions as a method of advertisement for what I work on. So, and on top of that, it's fun, and I get to talk to people about stuff, spitball ideas, and get feedback earlier. So there's tons of reasons for why I'm streaming it. Well, I say tons of reasons. There's at least 4. And there's more benefits from streaming it than not streaming it. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to when I actually get to
set this up on a public accessible server and have multiple people try it out, but that's still probably a couple of months away. So I think these are the last issues that I need to address today, and then the goal of today is kind of gonna be covered already, which is cool. By the way, I'm not sure if you've gotten the opportunity to see how sort of the magic system works in this. When you cast something that's strictly like a magic spell, it pops up with a quick time event that you have to complete for it to cast. Ranged abilities put this little indicator over my head where when I cast another ability while the ranged indicator is there, or basically when I cast a ranged ability, it starts a chain which applies modifier effects to the abilities that are cast after that. Currently there's two of them. There's Throw Hatchet and there's Pocket Sand. Melee abilities allow you to charge up to hit sweet spot damage, so you get more damage as it goes through. Some of them that are just low damage, like Sweep, are able to be cast there. That is rooting, meaning that the thing can't actually walk and chase me. Aha, silly goblin. And then I'm gonna run over to the boss because I know I haven't gotten a chance to show this off. How the bosses work is the bosses are intended to learn from the player's combat, not just the single player, but like an aggregate of many players that have faced them. This is on specifically hard mode. There is a normal mode which is just set to the baseline, but once enough players have fought it and it has enough combat logs, it learns from the combat logs to update, improve its stats, improve its aim, improve its actual like ability damage, abilities available to it, how it actually fights. It's just very rudimentary at the moment because I hadn't wired it into a lot of the other things for it, since those are down the line. But it's at least working as a system at the moment. And here we go. Here's the boss fight. Kind of cool. I can actually chain these things together now and get, well, I'm out of mana, but, ooh, I'm also taking a lot of damage. I wonder if I should make it so that Sweep can't cast if there's nothing in the, ooh, I missed, unfortunate. But yeah, I don't know if Sweep should be able to cast when there's nothing in range. It's kind of frustrating to hit Sweep and not have it do anything. But that might just be because there's no animations at the moment. So, what I was saying there, you'll see down here there is the, there's this fight recap here. So for this, in this section, you'll see the recap stats from the actual combat, where we've done one fight, took this long, but we're targeting a time of 30 seconds. And it took this sort of damage. Then you can see the combat log for what the boss cast. It cast its two abilities 2 times each. It hit most of them actually, which is interesting. And then it has now buffed itself by reducing the cooldown on one of its abilities, or on both of its abilities, and also reducing the cast time on one of the abilities. So that's this is basically, the intention of it is to be able to not penalize, but make sure that the boss is able to counter the average strategy. This will incentivize outlier strategies, meaning people that are not very familiar with the boss and people that are extremely familiar with like the combat system as a whole should have still an easier time. But this should be making the average strategy more difficult, which if I just allow myself to draw on the screen again, I'm going to avoid these shades. So if you take the distribution of the people that are able to fight it, and you were to normalize the strategies, you would get some sort of distribution of the players that are able to, or of the player fights. So basically, by taking the average of them, we're targeting this innermost group of strategies. And then if those strategies stop working, this should
incentivize people to use more outlier strategies, flattening or increasing the total number of strategies that people are using to actually combat the boss. At least that's my hope for it. I don't know if that's entirely how it's going to play out, but it's something I've wanted in bossing for a long time, because playing a lot of RuneScape, the ability or the way that you fight those bosses is you kind of just learn the meta strategy and then you perfect it, and that's that. You kill the boss faster and faster each time. How many triple copper are in here right now? Not too many. I'm gonna take a death though. Fast way to get back to Jack. I want to see if this bug is still present, because last time I died, I wasn't able to deplete the resources in the main city, or the main village. Buyback quantity tracking. Buyback now sends quantity. Shift click on bank slot now withdraws 1. Plain click still withdraws the default stack amount. Stack base or 1 for non-stackable. Bank withdraw payload quantity field was already wired on the server side, just never populated by the client. Got it. Okay, so there is definitely a bug where you can't deplete them once dying and getting moved back to the start. I should probably look into that. Oh, it's just a visual thing. Okay, so there's a visual issue with how things are wired with the zone movement on respawn. We are going to test this out now. Oh, wait. Don't open the client first. Gotta open the server first, or gotta turn the server back on first, then open up the client. We are very quickly coming up on the 2-hour mark, which is my goal here. Is it requires a lot of ML or work without ML at all? So, yeah, when I originally came up with the idea for the boss fighting, or for the boss learning strategy, this was when I was still back in university where I was actually studying machine learning. So the original intention was for me to build out an entire machine learning pipeline of tasks to actually learn from the players and use a lot of traditional machine learning for it. Right now, it's just a series of case statements based on the outline. Like it just has a priority list, and it just takes, oh, this is the top priority if this case, this is the top priority if this case. So it's very rudimentary right now, and that's what I'm talking about for that. But now with the advancement of LLMs, I think that since they kind of popped off right as I graduated from university, and they've kind of nullified that need for doing the whole pipeline method. So I think what I'm going to do is, at least one of the ways is, I'm planning on setting up a separate process for leveraging the LLMs to do the decision making on that one, which should bypass needing to do a lot of traditional ML work. If I send the logs and I send the options that are required and ask for the LLMs to specifically choose which upgrades it gets, or the distribution of the stat points, because I've kind of built it so that the boss is basically an AI player. Hopefully that'll work. If it doesn't, my fallback is still I'm going to do a lot of traditional ML. Buy wares. Okay, there we go. And gold. Give me a few water vials. But it will be slow and not accurate. Yeah, that's why I want to still go test things out. So the accurate part is, it doesn't need to be super accurate. It just needs to be different enough that it punishes the player in different ways. The original plan was that, like, say it requires 1,000 fights of combat before it actually learns. That's enough data for it to go through the ML pipeline. The original plan was, along with in the lore with Temporalis takes down or Temporalis causes stasis on the boss for a while, and you can fight the normal mode, but you can't fight the hard mode until the stasis has worn off and allowed for a new iteration of it. So how long it takes is easily handleable by some, or easily justifiable by just a little bit of not plain text, just a little bit of flavor text. So, but it's something that I want to be present for the game. And using an LLM for it is still only going to we do have the disable feature for it right now. It won't take that long for it to process through it. Yes, that is what I'm aiming for. That the learning part is handed off to the LLM, because that will make use of the less deterministic features of the LLM by allowing it to choose from the sample space for what has to happen. I think it'll turn out quite well. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I think it's probably one of the best use cases of the AI directly in, or of LLMs directly in gaming, because it kind of gives a bit of lifelikeness to it. The whole concept and through line for my game is basically it's trying to be a living world that the players have to actually work to maintain, and if players are unable to maintain it, then there's a lot of consequences that happen. So I don't know what logs are actually set up. I hope logs are actually worth something, because that'll be the best way for me getting gold at the moment, so that I can get the pickaxe, so that I can actually test that the pickaxe works as well. Oh, right, I have to try out the shift click for the bank. Okay, that's 50. Hopefully these are each worth 1. I'll try the bank, though. Hey, it works. Cool. Also, a really underrated benefit of using LLMs for development is that it means I'm able to do development and testing at the same time. Okay, there's still buyback issues. Have a few issues with buyback still. In the case where I sold 50 logs, or I had 6 gold, sold 50 logs to get to a total of 56 gold, then tried to buy back 6 logs. The entire stack of 50 logs vanished. From the buyback window, I should be able to buy back a fractional amount of this. There we go. Anyways, we've got the pickaxe now. The pickaxe should have stats on it. Yep. It's a standard weapon, meaning I can actually equip it. Awesome. This is the first time I've actually gotten to test this, because I didn't inject any additional gear yesterday, and I should be able to go and mine now. That is all good. I don't expect all my rambles to be fully understood anyways. Once I actually test this out, then that, well, I guess, and test this part out, then I'm gonna be done for what I wanted to get done today. That's gonna be a good way to. Okay, I can mine. if I drop the iron pickaxe... Oh, that's a bug I'm gonna have to fix. That's definitely a bug I'm gonna have to fix. I can't view what happened. Sorry about that. It looks like you got a little auto-botted. Okay, I need drop to actually update. But at least it works. Oh, I should go test if I put the axe in the bank if it updates. And it won't even let me see the message that caused the timeout. Oh, I should probably put this in the notes as well. Notes. Dropping, gathering tool needs or update tools. Step on the herb a little bit. Alright, so if I run over to the bank here, and I give the banker my axe, I should not be able to cut the tree down anymore. Oh, nope. There is an issue with updating the tools available for the player. When I drop or store the axe in the bank, I'm still able to harvest trees. This should not base, drop, and drop or selling the item needs to remove it from the tools available and refresh the list of tools. This means in the case with 2 pickaxes in my inventory, if I sell one, it should update the tools fail list and then detect the remaining pickaxe and update the tools available list again. Okay, so this should be the last little fix that we need. I think I just lost my axe. Oh, wait, no, it's in the bank. I was literally just testing this. I thought I had dropped it, though. Oh, thank goodness I have the axe. What's a lumberjack without an axe? That would be unfortunate. All right, take care. It was great having you stop by. Let me check if set an inventory update already calls it. Make all the handlers covered automatically. Rebuild current tools is called on gear change and on pickup, not after drop, sell, or bank deposit. Let's confirm exactly where it's missing. Okay, this should be a quick fix then. Seen some people building good-looking HTML games with Claude that it even makes 3D models for the game with just code. Yeah, I've seen some as well, and I've also seen ones where they share the actual code repository afterwards, and I don't see a lot of stuff in the repositories. They're very small and bare bones from what I've seen. But I'm admittedly not the most familiar with the HTML options. I do know that they made it so that you can leverage graphics card with HTML though, which is kind of cool now. Would be nice to have some good graphics, some good quality web browser-based games again, like original RuneScape. I don't know how they managed to do that back in the day as well. RuneScape was just played through the browser. You didn't need to download anything, and there was still so much in the game. I really don't know what they did. Okay, we apparently have the fix, so gonna restart these. I'm gonna have to clean up the memory again. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to store my axe in the bank, which should mean I can no longer cut the tree down. Can't cut the tree down. Now RuneScape is on Steam, but one of your old favorite PC games is still not Zoo Tycoon 2. Wow, I haven't heard that game in ages. It's not on Steam? Are any of the Tycoon games on Steam? Should be able to harvest. Well, I see it failing, which is a good sign. There we go. Got some logs, got some herbs. But if I go sell the logs, buy a vial of water, and try to buy back a log, I can only buy one. Okay, that's working as well. Oh, I'm gonna have to do collision detection tonight. The last thing I want to do is collision detection. Maybe I just need to add more logging around the collision detection, and that'll help me out a bit. Only an Xbox version where you cannot even fully build exhibits. You just place them, not put. Oh, that's interesting. That's unfortunate. Anyways, we are now past fair bit past the 2-hour mark. Today was quite a successful day, I would say, at least. Got all the way through the shop storage on items, got all the way through a couple of bugs being fixed as well. So we got the shops implemented, we got storage implemented, we made it so that we have buybacks for the shop, we actually handle correct numbers of items for buyback and sale and stacking of gold. And then we also fixed the bugs that were around unequipping, dropping, storing any of the gathering tools. So, we also managed to get the stream started on YouTube and working over there. That was a real pain at the start of the stream. I think I started and stopped stream like 3 or 4 times before I even got that working. I'm glad that that's working over there as well. That's another platform that is on now. So I am done for today, but I will be back tomorrow again right around the same time. So thank you everyone for stopping by. Really appreciate the follows. If you've been lurking and you want to see how the game continues to progress, feel free to drop a follow. I will be working on it daily. This is a very long-term project. It's not going anywhere.